remember. Or .com?
.com.
.com.
Okay, we are streaming live, so
Bryce, as we're talking, I will send this to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are live, did you say?
yeah, we're live and recording, so go ahead.
Okay, and there's Bryce, or both Bryces. All right, welcome to the Saratoga Springs Planning Commission meeting for August 13th. I have a brief statement I need to read before we begin the meeting. I, Troy Cunningham, Planning Commission Chair, hereby determine that conducting the Planning Commission meeting at an anchor location presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the anchor location. The World Health Organization, the President of the United States, the Governor of Utah, and the County Health Department have all recognized the global pandemic exists related to the new strain of the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19. Due to the state of emergency caused by the global pandemic, I find that conducting a meeting at an anchor location in the current state of public health emergency constitutes a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the location. This written declaration expires 30 days from the date signed. Signed, Troy Cunningham, Saratoga Springs Planning Commission Chair, dated July 16th, 2020. All right, so first we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Gina, do you have the flag you can put up?
Dave didn't tell me about that.
Okay.
Wait, I have one.
Okay.
Audrey is prepared, sorry.
That's okay.
There we go.
So we have a flag.
You guys see it? Kind of?
Yes. All right, so I'll go ahead and lead that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so now roll call. Looks like all of the planning commissions are here this evening, and the city staff. So we don't have anybody excused. We'll go right into the meeting. The first item we have is a business item, preliminary plat for the hub located approximately 2600 North Redwood Road. Boyd Brown is the applicant. And I believe David Stroud's going to be present. Yes.
Yeah, if we could just put that on hold for a second. If you'll notice tonight, we have a new planning commissioner, Bryce McConkey. So let's just take a couple of minutes and let Bryce introduce himself to the planning commission and the public that is in attendance via YouTube.
Okay, Bryce, go ahead.
Thank you. Anything in particular you'd like to know?
I'll just give us your background, what you do, maybe what neighborhood you live in, so people know what part of the city you don't represent your neighborhood, but they give an idea where you're at.
Sure. Bryce McConkey. I've lived in Saratoga Springs for just over 11 years. This is a terrific place to be. Love it here. I've been in the construction industry for about 27 years. Currently involved in reviewing plans. I love construction. Was a small business owner for about 5 years before the recession hit back in 2007-8, and opted to take some other opportunity. It took me out of my business. The three things I love most is small business or any business, construction and growth, and love people. So this opportunity to serve on the planning commission for me is exciting, and I love seeing the growth of the city. Love seeing business come in, love seeing people being successful, and love being a part of it and on a great team.
Okay, thank you, Bryce. So I'll now turn the time over to Planning Director Stroud to do the presentation for the hub.
Okay, Planning Commission, we have one item tonight scheduled. It is a preliminary plat, and I'll pull up the share screen here for the presentation. Okay, am I being heard now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I wasn't getting any vocal there. All right. Let's go through the authorities of city council. So, as for preliminary plats, you make a recommendation to the council. So that will go on to the council after your recommendation. We're located between 2400 and 2600 North Redwood Road. And Boyd Brown is the applicant. You can see C, D, E, and F. There's parcel 2 as well, parcel 1. So it's kind of a split subdivision. The parcels are not contiguous, but we can do it this way, obviously. This is in the commercial zone. What you see here are our site plan tonight. This just kind of gives you an idea of you. You are the approval authority for site plans, so you will see those again. Landscaping around the perimeter along the right of way is part of the subdivision improvements. So those are shown here as well, and those will go in at the time the other improvements are put in. And the recommendation from staff is approval with the findings and conditions, and you do have the option to continue or deny the request. Any questions for me? And if not, the applicant Boyd Brown is in attendance here if you have any questions for him.
Thank you, Planning Director Stroud. It looks like the applicant is with us. Mr. Brown, would you like to introduce yourself for the record and give us your address?
Yeah, Boyd Brown, 2121 South McClellan Street, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Would you like to add anything to the presentation?
No, this is a long history. I've worked on this. I've owned the property for several years and been working on solutions to get some services out there and work closely with the city on a development agreement and site plan. And I feel like the staff's done a great job, and I don't really have anything to add, and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn it over to the Planning Commission for any comments that they may have.
I don't have any comments. I think it looks great.
Okay, Commissioner McConkey, thank you.
I just am wondering, do we know, and I didn't see this anywhere, but what kind of, what's coming, do we know what's coming in yet? Do you know what you're building?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the two pieces that we're driving for on the south side in the middle there, I believe that's parcel D. That will be an event center. So it's a local group that the couple lives, I think, a few miles from the site, and they are, even through COVID, they're very excited about having a place to have weddings and different events. I've seen their architecture. They looked at, we have 22 acres total. Some is in Lehigh, some's in Saratoga, and they looked around for the very best view corridors and access, and they just believe that view heading to the east on parcel D is going to be spectacular, and they're looking forward to that. And then we also have a great business, local business, that does tile and flooring, and they're going to be on parcel A, which is up on that corner of Redwood and Hardman. And they have just been real busy. They're excited. I love their building too, and they're chomping at the bit to come out of the ground. And they will have some retail there, a little bit of warehouse, a showroom, and it'll be a really top-notch building.
Thank you.
And then the others we sort of have planned as potential and future, but no other specific buildings planned on the remaining parcels.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Kilgore, do you have any questions? Or go ahead.
Yes, please. All right, so this is an administrative process. So I'm just going to ask the applicant, do you agree to comply with the conditions in the city staff report?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. I want to ask, so the parcels are separated by some other land there. And so that road in the middle, how do you plan to I mean, what's happening? What's going to happen with that road there? Is that something that's the city's going to work on, or is it something you're going to help build, or how does that work?
No, so there's 3 parcels in the middle that I do not control. Between the 3 parcels is just 2 ownership groups, and I've worked closely with them from when we first got this property zoned, and they're just not ready to develop at this point. What we've worked with staff is they wanted that road to be stubbed to the property lines. Initially, the site plan was approved as a more of an HOA with a private road that would just service each side, but they're really pushed to have that connectivity in the future. So at this point, we'll have an easement from those guys to run water lines in where that future road will be. And they'll have the option when they decide to, or when the timing is right for them to sell their property and develop, they'll just continue that road and connect the 2 pieces. But it's not, I don't believe there's any reason or plan for the city to go and, acquire their ground. The one family on the north is living there. It's their personal residence. And then on the south, there's one house and then one that just has a sort of some different businesses on it.
Any concerns about the other property owners there not wanting the road to go all the way through? So then we end up having like a kind of a stub road just for the foreseeable future?
Well, I don't know that will go through right away. The way it's designed is each property could stand alone and has a major collector roads that they're going out to. So I'm building a very significant amount of road where really I would prefer just to do a driveway, to access my parcels. But I mean, we have put the right of way in there. We're going to build a full right of way to give every option. And I think the city would, whenever they come in to develop, I think it'd be hard for them to avoid connecting that road.
Yeah.
But to speak to their preference, I don't know that they would want to do that until, they move.
Yeah. So Commissioner Kilgore's question, our code requires that we have interconnectivity between lots. That's why you see those subconnections there. And UDOT can also obviously restrict what kind of accesses are given out on Redwood Road. So this provides a guaranteed access, at least, to the interior of those lots. I suspect UDOT will grant them some access there, but there's no guarantee to what point and how many UDOT will give them for those 3 parcels there.
Yeah, I guess my main concern was if it's just going to be a kind of like a stub road, just to make sure that it's still trafficable by or accessible by either snow plows or fire equipment, fire equipment, so that there's enough area for them to turn around and such without having a way to get into the without getting into the private property. So I was just wondering if that's something that I guess the city might have looked at that, but I was just concerned more about the emergency services and other services if the roads are just built partially or part way.
When it comes to site plan approval, that's what we'll get more in the details on that.
Okay. And then says the development depends on some off-site development for water, like both primary and secondary water. So does the applicant anticipate any problems or delays to the project because of this dependence?
The development agreement states that actually the city has agreed to supply that, and I know that they've worked on it, and I believe most recently in talking with the city, that water has been brought across Redwood Road to the project to the south of me, and is going to be stubbed to my property. So the actual act of doing that and paying for it is the city has made an agreement to do that, and they've sort of given me the go ahead to say, as soon as you're ready, we'll be ready. And I've been working in good faith based on that agreement.
Does the staff anticipate any issues with that then? I guess we're good as far as the water development goes, since it's off-site.
So I can speak to this. The city's prepared to abide by the agreement. I haven't reviewed the agreement in detail lately, but we're prepared to abide by the agreement. I'm not sure that the agreement addresses storm drainage. And storm drainage has been cited as an issue. There's no discharge, there's no outfall for storm drainage right now. That depends on other development. But bottom line is city's prepared to abide by the agreement.
Okay. All right, thank you with that. Yeah, and I was going to ask also, it looks like the plans for irrigation and street names have been delayed. Any issues with that anticipated by the applicant?
No.
Okay, terrific. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgore. Do we have any other comments from any other of our commissioners?
Just a quick question, sorry, about the storm drain, stuff like that. Is it typical to, I guess, to approve something without that in place already? What's usually the protocol or the precedent for something like that? Just since, I mean, like in the past and stuff like that, is that something that we maybe need to wait on? Like, sorry, am I making any sense, Troy? Is that something that, I mean, we've done before? Do we need to wait for that sort of thing?
Yes, that makes sense. I'll go ahead and let Planning Director Stroud address that.
I can address it if you like, Dave.
Yeah, I was actually going to turn it over to Gordon since that's an engineering question.
Thanks.
If at the time the applicant wants to record and that offsite infrastructure isn't in place, they'll have to bond for it. So, yeah, it's that simple.
Okay, no, that explains it. Thank you.
Also, just for our motion, the engineering report says that the runoff and stormwater plan has to be in place eventually. So I think we could still approve the plan.
Still approve it, okay.
As long as, since the applicant says that they will abide by the conditions in the staff report, and the staff report conditions says abide by engineering report, and the engineering report says they have to have a storm.
They have to have that there.
Yeah, they have to have that. So I think we're okay as far as approving the plan, approving it, or you know, recommending
it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if we have no other comments, I will entertain a motion.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just was gonna make it. I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for the proposed preliminary plat for the hub at Saratoga Springs, located approximately 2400 to 2600 North Redwood Road, based upon the findings and conditions in this staff report.
I second.
Okay, so Commissioner Barton has the motion. Commissioner Kilgore has a second. Any question on the motion?
Can I just ask a quick question for Director Stroud? So when we have sort of these two separated pieces of property with three in between, is there, and this is me just kind of on the learning curve as well. So when and hopefully if those properties are developed that are in between, is there a way for the city to help influence the design of those so that we kind of have a continuance of a feel of continuity, I guess, to the pieces of property versus just sort of these disparate pieces of property going in at different times, whether it's 5, 10, or 15 years down the road and they all look different? Just a quick question for my understanding.
Are you talking about architecture?
Yeah.
Or just how the property lays out?
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear you, sorry.
No, as far as architecture goes, as long as they meet the standards, you know, we've got several lots, or you could have, you know, several buildings that look different as long as they still meet our basic standards in the code.
So nothing really beyond that when you're looking at sort of trying to tie things all together. Just so long as it's met the base standard architectural, then it's good to go.
And as far as the road design goes, they'll be tying into those stub roads on the north and the south when those three lots. Yeah.
Okay. I just want some understanding. Thanks.
That's a good question. I feel like it sounds like it could be like a jumble of whatever, right? If there's not some continuity, like you were saying. I mean, it probably won't because we had that code in place to make, things usually look nice. But yeah, when you have that many parcels in the, lots or whatever in the middle, then that's something to think about.
Yeah, our code doesn't require that as far as commercial development, unless, if you're in a village plan in the planned community zone, you're probably gonna have some continuity as opposed as regarding architecture. But in this case, for materials and articulation on building walls and things like that. So it's not required to have, uniform or similar
Right.
architecture.
Okay.
I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and, again, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Looks like the motion passes unanimously. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item, approval of minutes for July 23rd, 2020. Anyone have any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion. Approve the minutes.
I move to approve the Planning Commission minutes from July 23rd, 2020.
So I have a motion from Commissioner Kilgore
I'll second it.
and a second from Commissioner Barton. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that passes unanimously. Next item is reports of action. Do we have any reports of action tonight?
We do not.
Okay, commissioner comments. Any commissioners would like to make a comment? All right.
Just, I want to just welcome Bryce again.
Go ahead.
Just
Thank you.
welcoming Bryce to the Planning Commission. We're excited to have you. It's a lot of fun. You probably already know that from tonight, but we're excited to have you. It's always nice to have a full house. So welcome.
Well, thank you. I watched the last meeting, and it was exciting. I was impressed with how you guys handled that and some of the discussion on the architecture of the building. It was, I think it was the right move. I think it's some great comments, and it just seems that there's just a great feel and camaraderie. So I think we'll all work together real well. I'm really excited.
Thank you. Welcome. We do work well together. I feel like we do anyway.
Yeah, I think we have a good group.
Yeah.
Having served on the commission for a while, and I think addition.
What
it will be nice to get back in person someday.
All right, Troy, what kind of construction, Bryce, are you involved in?
My background is both residential and commercial. I was a framer for years and general contractor. Got into renovations. Probably half of my experience is in residential commercial renovations, more on the residential side. I've actually been involved in building inspections and reviewing plans for the last 12 and a half years, 13, something like that. So
That's a great background.
have some good background on all sides.
Yeah. Did anyone brave Costco this morning?
Oh, I wanted to, but I couldn't. Did anybody?
My wife went. She said it wasn't bad at all.
Oh, good. I
That
heard
was
other
gonna-
stories. I heard craziness, but I didn't go.
That was gonna be my comment. Was I saw the city council got the tour of building. I was like, maybe we could tour something, even if it's just a crumble, and we get a cookie out of it. Or,
Thank
I
you.
don't know,
Good
David. I
idea.
think we promise not to post all over Saratoga Springs link about it.
Yeah, we'll be quiet about it.
We'll be quiet. We'll eat our cookie, and I don't know. I don't know what the next one is, but put us on the list, Dave. Will you?
We can get you to tour DI when that opens up. Maybe we'll get a free.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's right.
No, I guess this morning that I think they're going to open up about 8 o'clock and just kind of following some email chains that were sent. I'm at home, obviously I didn't go up there, but I guess the crowd got fairly large, and the manager decided to open up a little early.
Yeah, I heard that.
With the crowd going in.
Okay.
I heard there was one incident, but that's one. And I think it was probably just not many people knew, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Either way, super awesome that it's here, right? It's Costco.
Absolutely.
Nothing better.
Yes, and it's open and people can go now.
And we did just get a planner director update, if you want, I guess now. We did get the community plan in for the property just south of there.
Oh,
We're working on that now, which will be several pads out front and a kind of a medium box anchor tenant building, a kind of strip mall style. And so you'll be seeing that community plan coming up in a meeting or two.
awesome.
More jobs, more taxes.
Fantastic. That's right.
Yeah, with Costco going in, I think, you'll really see that area take off now. I mean, that'll bring in a lot of traffic, and commercial developers will see that and they'll want that spillover traffic and customers. So I think it'll really, really take off.
So Dave, is that your director's report?
Yeah, and I was going to bring up the Costco if anybody went, but so.
Okay. And then I guess the next thing is have a possible motion to enter into closed session if we needed. No need for closed session tonight, right?
No need.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and adjourn then. Thanks everybody for attending, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Sounds good.
Everyone.